Welcome to ArtStreet. Last time, when I talked about stages of change, I mentioned that change starts with noticing. For example, have you ever noticed that you and a friend remember a situation or a story differently? Or that you notice different things about a person than your friend might? These differences that you're noticing are people's different perspectives. Sometimes it's helpful to notice these differences in perspective so we can learn from them. Today's project will let me compare how I see myself and how I'm seen. Today's stage of change is called pre-contemplation, a long word that means before I've even contemplated the idea, not even thinking about it yet. Using a paper plate or just a circle of paper, we can create a simple mask for our face. Pablo Picasso, the famous Spanish painter, asked, are we to paint what's on the face, what's inside the face, or what's behind it? Let's paint all of those things. On the side facing out, let's paint how we think people see us. How do I appear to other people? Do I seem tough and angry or calm? Out of control and wild or kind and helpful? On the side facing in, let's paint how we see ourselves. How do I see myself? Do I want to paint how I feel? Scared? Or sad? Or hopeful? Do I want to show how I think about myself, my self-judgments? Maybe I think I'm cowardly, or heroic, or invisible. To get started, I want to cut some eyes into this so that it's actually a mask. So I'm going to get my scissors started. In shape if you wanted to. You could make full circles. You could try to make any shape you want. Just want to make them big enough so that this is going to look like eyes. So I've made some eyes. So if I think about how I appear to other people, I think that sometimes because my job is to manage a program, I look like an authority to people, whether I want to present myself that way or not. So I'm using this paint, kind of paint this overemphasis on my glasses. So I think sometimes see that more than my eyes, or the expression that I'm trying to have behind my glasses. And I think this purple makes them look fairly heavy and kind of domineering. And then I'll put some orangey color to put this nose. A little heavier than I wanted to. So I'm adding brown under a reddish tone, and I arced it down a little bit. So just to get started, this is kind of how I am thinking people might sometimes view me, especially when I'm at work. And that's not necessarily how I feel to myself. So because I have paper on my table, I'm just going to go ahead and stick my paint side down. So on the inside, I'm going to change the color of those glasses to make them feel more like I feel. So I feel more kind of sunny, like a blue sky inside myself. I feel pretty good most of the time. So I want to put that on there. I could be making an image of myself where I feel scared a lot, if that's my truth. Or maybe I have a lot of losses and I'm feeling a lot of grief. So whatever the truth is of how I'm feeling about myself, when I think about myself, that can go on this inside. So I liked how that nose went last time. Let's see if I can do that again. Started with that yellowy color. That's pretty good. Added an orangey, but ooh, look, when I let it touch the blue, it's just kind of all becoming one thing. I'm gonna let it be. I'm gonna let it do that. That's kind of fun. Let's get a little titch more. See if I can add a little bit more in there on purpose. There we go. Fun. Now this time I'm going to show some eyebrows that are maybe a little bit more relaxed. So rather than just focus on gray hair that everybody sees, I used to have orangey blonde hair. So I'm going to make some hair that has some orangey blonde to it. Sometimes inside I feel pretty young still. I'm just going to add those crazy hairs on there, a wild hair. Make some eyebrows too. This side is less serious and severe than the other side. For a little bit happier mouth, I made that last one have a lot of brown to it. I think this one, start with this kind of peachy tone. This also have a little happy bit there on the end. Give a little shout out to a lower lip here. There. More of a smile on how I feel on the inside. Because I feel like I'm not always perceived exactly the way that I feel. And the inside don't match. And just let yourself notice that. Give that difference your attention. They don't have to match. They don't have to be different. But it's good for me to know if the way I see myself matches with how I'm seen. If it's different, is this about what I share or don't share? Maybe how I present myself to the world or don't? Are my ideas about how I do things, maybe how I talk to people, how I use alcohol, drugs, money, are my ideas at odds with how other people see my actions? Different perspectives. If you're noticing any small thing that isn't how you'd like it to be, something that doesn't feel good, doesn't feel authentic to you maybe, is it something you want to consider changing? Considering a need for change moves you into the contemplation stage of change. Contemplate this idea. Give this possible area of change your attention. You don't have to do anything yet. Just keep noticing. Just keep choosing to pay attention to it. As the psychologist Wayne Dyer wrote, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Let noticing be the first step you take toward a new perspective, toward change. Until next time.